Welcome everyone to Straight from the Paws, and Happy New Year. Today I have with me my wonderful director, Ariana Silver. If you've never met her, this is Ariana, and alumni of Forever Paws, who was a dear friend of Ariana's, Jackson. He was adopted from here, and sometimes he comes and visits Ariana because he's just an awesome dog. And his parents are the ones that have the soy candles, right?
Correct. Yep. It's a funny story with him. He was actually abandoned at Stop and Shop. I don't know if you know this.
Oh, yes,
so he was abandoned at Stop and Shop, found as a stray, brought in through animal control. We had him for a while because he was super nervous at first. And then we met this wonderful couple who actually both worked for corporate at Stop and Shop.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of funny how the universe works sometimes. But yeah, they met him, they fell in love with him. He's been with them for now probably 2 years. And they just love, he's just fantastic with them. And they just worry, like they don't trust anybody else with him when they go away. So he gets to stay with us when they do their traveling.
That's nice. He's a good boy. And he's so handsome. Yes, he is. Well, today we're here to talk to you about, obviously, first of all, I want to thank everyone that has supported us throughout the years, in the years past, in this past year, 2022. And Ariana and I, we look at statistics periodically, and believe it or not, I was kind of shocked and made her actually show me, because I'm not that I'm a doubting Thomas of Ari. I believe her, but yet it was like, I'm a visual person, always have been a visual person, so I had to see it for myself. We took care of over 1,000 animals in 2022. It was phenomenal. I mean, what a phenomenal year. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they were all adopted from here. That means they were adopted, they were rescued, they went back to their original homes. You know, we sent them out to other places that needed animals, different rescues and so on and so forth. So, I mean, but you think of the volume. If you've ever been in this building, that's a lot of animals, And now we have ducks, we have, chickens, the variety is amazing. And yet the staff learns about them. Ariana, I've got to say, is working on, I don't know if I should say this, but I will anyway, wildlife certification. Yep. She's trying to, she worked on that this past year, and hopefully she'll have some time again in the near future to work on it closer. I mean, it's just amazing what the shelter has done, and I am very happy with it. We have a new clerk this year. Unfortunately, our former clerk found a teaching job, so she left us. And so we have a new person working with us, Cheyenne, and we also have an administrative assistant for Ariana. And that's something that I never thought would happen. The clerk's position was always in our policy and procedure, but the assistant I never thought would happen. And the reason being is that Ariana is so good at fundraising and other things that she does, and networking, so there's only so many hours in a day. And and some people will say to me, well, Ariana's not here. Well, where is she? When I call, they say she's out or she's not in the building. I'm like, need to know basis, honestly, need to know basis. But when I call Ariana at 8 o'clock at night and we're on the phone for an hour and a half, she's off the clock, So people don't quite understand that.
They don't understand I'm never off the clock, is what they don't understand,
right.
Which is fine.
Which is fine, and, for the holiday she had a vacation planned, and, with the storm and everything, she didn't make it, so she was right on the phone with the staff and, got everybody in. It's just, people just don't get that. I get it because I used to do all of that with all the other directors. So now, I have it a lot more easier. I shouldn't say a lot more easier. I don't have to do as much. I can work from home, and it's fantastic. So we're looking forward to a great new year, correct?
We are, yes.
We are. And so just reminder, we have our drag queen show at the end of January. And tickets are almost sold out.
Almost sold out. I think as of right now, we have 2 or 3 tables available and maybe 20-ish single tickets. So we do anticipate that selling out. So if you're watching this and it is something you're interested in doing, you go to eventbrite.com, or you can go to our Facebook page. The links are there, and you can purchase right through Eventbrite. We're not taking any payments over the phone. We're not selling tickets in the shelter. Everything is being done through that website. So that is eventbrite.com. You can search Forever Paws. You can search Drag Queen Bingo, and it'll tell you what we have for availability.
And the other thing is we have some news also, breaking news, April 29th. It's the last Saturday in April. I'm not really good with my dates, but numbers, but I think it's the 29th in April. We are going to have a show at the Liberal Club. We are going to have Mike Mioza, the mentalist, the local man, who used to be our city councilor, and he does these shows, and he's going to open the show up, and then we're going to have the hypnotist, Frank Santos Jr.
That's going to be really
It's gonna be
exciting.
fun.
I've already started telling people about
Yeah,
it. They
people
can't
are
wait.
excited. I
So
think we're going to do Eventbrite again. We're going to do the Eventbrite because we want, it'll be easier to sell tickets that way and keep order of tickets and all that. We'll probably sell tables of 8 as well. I got to work that out with Liberal Club, but they told me in this month, January, to get in touch with them. So we're excited about that, and we'll again always looking for some new ideas. Ariana and I have been faithful. We made it almost through a whole 3 quarters, I think, of newsletter. So we do an email. So if you have emails and you want to give us your email, send to asilver@foreverpaws.com, and she will send you out our newsletter that we have. So she and I have been working on that. And years ago I did one, and I ended up doing it all by myself. People said they would help me, and I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I was still working. So now Anna and I have this responsibility, and it's kind of we get it done.
yeah, we do. We plan ahead. And I mean, it's really good to sign up for the email marketing anyway with us because you'll know about clinics that we have. You'll know when the volunteer orientations are. You'll know what events are coming up. So the newsletter is great, but once you get on that email list, you'll get to know, you'll know everything that's going on in a timely manner with the shelter.
Right. So
He's ridiculous.
he's just like, he's chilled.
He's just like, this is the best ever.
This is it. Yeah, I'm good. The floors are heated, so he's warm and he's good. So we're going to talk a little bit about our animals in the wintertime, and that's something that is always important to address. And so, Ari, you want to give us a little bit of an idea about whatever you can tell us?
So I'm just going to be pretty broad spectrum because I'm not sure all the viewers are local to us. But you do want to check with your local, like here we would check mass.gov. Rhode Island, you can check rhodeisland.gov, and you'll look at what's acceptable and what's not acceptable legally to keep your animals outside. I believe anything in this area, anything under 32 degrees, the animals cannot be left outside. I also, in Massachusetts, there's a tethering law where you can't leave the dogs tied up. So you really want to check the laws in your area if you are someone that keeps your dogs outside. We're hoping that you don't keep your dogs outside, but if you do keep dogs outside, you need to make sure that you're taking care of them properly and you're keeping them safe. A lot of people just think, oh, it's cold, we'll keep the dogs in, or oh, my dogs have a lot of fur, I'm gonna let them go outside. My dogs like the winter. My dogs like the winter. My dogs will stay outside in a snowstorm and I have to drag them in. But what people don't understand is that it doesn't matter how much fur they have, how big they are, how small they are. Each dog is going to react to the cold differently. And just because you have a big furry dog, like this guy, that doesn't mean he can go stay outside for an hour. I mean, your dogs really should not be outside. If it's too cold for you to be outside, it's generally too cold for your dogs to be outside. And when they come in, you need to make sure you dry them off right away. You need to check their paws, even if they're, in your backyard. Let's say you have a gated backyard and technically it's grass, there's no gravel, there's no driveway there. The dogs are going to get snowballs packed, stuck in the pads of their feet. They're going to get them stuck in their fur. So you really need to, when they come in, dry them off completely, check the pads of their feet. And if they are, if there's anything there, you're going to take a cloth, lukewarm, nothing hot, nothing cold, just a very neutral temperature, and just clean off those pads. And if you have dogs that are going to continuously to go outside, so this is going to be an everyday project like at my house, you need to have the towel there, dry them off, and then you want to put either some Vaseline or some balm on the bottom of their paws to protect them. Because even though you don't see anything right away when you're coming in, as the pads dry out, they can crack and get really, really painful. And a lot of people don't really think about that. They think, oh, the dog's in, we're good, everything is dry, the dog is warm. But it does take some time, just like it takes with our hands, to show effects of the colds and things like that. So you really do want to keep an eye on the pads. Same thing with their noses. You want to kind of keep them dry, pat them off. And if you see that they're starting to get a little bit chapped, again, you can put Vaseline, you can put a balm on there. There's tons of holistic or all natural balms that you can buy pretty much anywhere right now to kind of seal the moisture on their pads and on their toes. if you have smaller dogs or you have dogs that will tolerate it, obviously the safest thing would be the booties. You know, I see some people come in and they have dogs with booties on, and I'm so jealous because my dogs would never allow me to put those booties on.
Lulu won't wear those either.
No.
We've tried every single thing. We've even tried Uggs.
Yeah.
My godmother, Susan, got her Uggs, and it doesn't matter. She
No,
doesn't care.
you know, so if you are lucky enough to have one of those guys that tolerate it, that would be great. That's obviously your best protection. But you know, otherwise, you want to make sure that you're bringing them in and cleaning them off right away. Another thing you want to do is you want to make, you know, it's not a bad idea to kind of feed your dog a little bit extra in the wintertime. Sometimes, you know, they can get a little bit lethargic, a little bit depressed, kind of like humans do too in the winter where you're not out and about, and they might not be as hungry or not show as much interest. So you do want to offer them different things to kind of, you know, give them a little bit of extra weight to get them through the winter as well. If
Keep
you're
them active in the house too, right?
Yeah, definitely keep them active. Puzzle toys, you know, if you have, you know, you can play fetch. You know, keep them moving. You know, when you're walking, when you're bringing your dogs outside, always keep them on a leash. Even the most well-behaved dog, you know, could see something and take off, and now you're not only have a dog outside, you have a dog loose outside. And there's a lot of different things that are dangerous outside. I mean, dogs are attracted to the sweet scent of like antifreeze and different things that you use in the in your cars, and you know, to what deweatherize the house, and a lot of that is toxic to dogs. So you really want to make sure you have your dogs on a leash and you're watching to make sure they're not getting into anything they're not supposed to.
Also, they do, as I'm sure our viewers know, but in case they don't, special rock salt. Like I know for the path where Lola goes, I use a special rock salt. It is more expensive, obviously, but you know, she's a family member. I have to take care of her. So you put the extra, you know, the rock salt for the animals, and that takes care of her outside there. And you know, it's better. And the other one I use out front. When like if she tries to walk out front, I'm like, oh no, come on, you can't walk out front.
Yeah, and it can be really expensive. If you can't afford to do the Pet Safe rock salt, you can always do a non-clumping dry kitty litter. Right. It'll make a little bit more of a mess, but you're talking about $4 a bag versus you know, 15 to 20. So really, there are definitely different hacks that you can do to keep the animals safe, especially with everything going up in price right now. That would definitely be a safer, cheaper alternative. Again, it's going to make a little bit more of a mess. So once you're done, you know, you might have a little bit more to clean up, but it's not going to harm the animals in any way. Again, even with the Pet Safe rock salt and or kitty litter, you do want to make sure that you're really cleaning their paws once they come in, because again, that will cake and get into all the different toe pads and under their nails and things like that.
So let's talk a little bit about cats too. I know, you know, obviously we don't want our cats outside. We want the cats to come in, but there are people out in our, you know, my house included, that if there's a stray that comes on the porch and stuff, you want to make sure that there's something available for them. What would you suggest?
So I would suggest going to Home Depot and grabbing a tote, like one of the sealed totes, and then they might sell them at Home Depot too, or even the dollar store, one of the styrofoam coolers. So you would take the tote, you'd flip it upside down, you'd put the inside of the insulated cooler in. You're going to cut a little, you know, you're going to cut like a entryway, so it'll look like a makeshift doghouse. So you want to make sure that the cat can get in, and that the insulated cooler inside fits appropriately, so it's tight. You don't want to have the cooler moving around inside the tote. So it's a little bit of a challenge getting the right sizes, but the insulation will hold the warmth in there. The tote is plastic, so it should be durable through the weather. And you'd always want to put hay. You don't want to put shavings. You don't want to put blankets. You don't want to put towels. All of that stuff is going to get wet and muddy and moldy. The hay is clean and the hay holds heat. So, you know, you can make a little safe haven for the cats there. You can obviously leave out food and water, but if the water freezes, obviously you'd have to keep an eye on that. I would probably do like a dry food, not really a wet food. Again, the wet food is probably going to freeze. You just have to keep an eye on it. So you don't want to have this great little house set up for your outdoor cats or your feral cats, and then everything inside is frozen, or it's not, you know, working together. So you really want to make sure whatever you choose for the outside enclosure, it is weatherproof, like a plastic tote. The insulation with the cooler is going to hold the heat of the hay together way better than just a box with hay in it. It'll actually make it insulated and warm. Don't think it's too small. They're going to make their way. into it, and they will, make the best out of it. You also want to make sure before you start your car in the morning, you like bang on the hood, make sure there's nobody under the hood or under the car. A lot of people, we see a lot of it in the winter, like, oh my God, there's a cat stuck in my car, or, this cat was in the motor of my car, I didn't know. So you're scraping off your car, you're heating up your car, just bang on the hood, bang on the trunk, bang underneath, quick, around the car, just to make sure anybody who's sleeping or stuck up in there is going to get scared and kind of come out. You don't want to forget the birds and the wildlife too. When everything is covered with snow and everything is frozen, they don't really have anything. Their food source is basically eliminated. So you can definitely you can throw the bird seed out there. You can do that, but if it's going to sink into the snow, so you're going to want to have the dollar store and Job Lot have like the, what do they call that?
The hangers,
Yeah, it's like,
hangers.
and it just, you can do the shepherd hangers with bird seed, and you can do the you can hang them on like your fence. It's like a little wire grate, and it has the little square block of food.
Yeah, I know what you call it.
I don't know what the name of it is, but it's not
I
sod.
think
It's not. It's
no.
like it looks like a brick. It looks like a brick of like what?
Bread.
Yeah, and you just kind of stick it in there, and they
Suet.
can suet. Is that what it's called? And they can pick at that. They also have hangers. I don't know if people are really big into their wildlife in their backyard, where you can put corn out for the squirrels and everything else. So there is a lot of different ways to help ensure the safety of the pets and the wild animals during the winter. You just want to make sure whatever it is that you're putting out there that you're maintaining.
Right, and I think it's important that everybody, listen to that, because when you're talking about that, I'm thinking, I have a starter for my car, so I don't even think about that. I just start the car because I don't want to go out, it's too cold.
Yeah.
And here I am, in an animal shelter, and I, never thought about that.
You don't think about that.
Wow.
Sometimes you just don't think about things like that,
Yeah, I mean,
if you think your dog is or your cat was out, or somebody gets loose and they come in and you think they might be hypothermic, you want to definitely call the emergency vet right away, and you definitely want to try to get them as comfortable as possible, but you don't want to never bathe your dog. If your dog comes in frozen, never put them in, a hot water. You can shock the system. You can have towels in the dryer and kind of warm them, but you never want to shock their system with a temperature change. So if anything, and cat, dog, whatever gets loose, and they come in and they're lethargic, they'll be their breathing will be labored, and then it will slow down. Their pupils will be dilated. They're not going to want to eat. They're going to appear very weak. You're going to call one of the emergency vets in your area, get immediate directions right from your vet, and then they will decide whether they need to bring you in or not.
what about, they used to have, and I don't remember if they do now, but poison lines?
There is a poison line. If you Google animal poison line, it's a 1-800 number. They will charge you. I think it's $100 is the going rate.
Wow.
For what you need to do. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, it's $100, but they have to have the people who are knowledgeable.
Right.
They have to have the people working who are there to answer the phone, and that's a 24/7 hotline, and they will tell you, you'll explain to them what happened, and they will advise you what the next steps to do. So that is a service that is available to you, but it is not free of charge.
Yeah, I mean, for example, someone, calls up and they say, I'm trying to get in touch with my vet, and as we all know, getting in touch with veterinarians right now is like almost impossible, and it's not their fault. They're stretched to the limits like every other doctor and, around, and, animals, they'll go and they'll get the chocolate, and they eat the chocolate, And one of the things I want to mention too is that, not just for the season, but, talk about poison and stuff like that, is that, if you're one of those people that has medicinal marijuana or anything like that in your home, you keep it out of reach of your children. Well, your animal should be your child. Keep it out of reach of your child, your four-legged child. We've had some cases that have come in here that have been, excruciating, painful for the staff to see, and very sad. And I don't know what happened to my dog. I don't know what happened. And you come to find out when you start getting the story. And Ariana is a very good detective for that. She gets down to the bottom of the story and finds out, well, yeah, we did have some, I didn't realize. I left it on the counter, and then the dog, look, a dog like Jackson, get up on the counter as tall as I am and just take it off.
Yeah, marijuana overdoses in animals is the #1 reason for ER visits right now. Yeah, because it's very scary. You don't think about it, and all of a sudden your dog is, shaking and lethargic and doesn't want to get up and can't walk. So you think, oh my God, something's happening. The dog is dying. What happened? And in speaking with a lot of our different veterinarians and emergency staff, that is the #1 reason for admittance into ERs right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, do what you got to do for yourself.
Keep it in a cookie jar.
But yes, keep it safe. Don't keep it next to where your children can get it, and especially your four-legged guys. So I think that coming forward, we're moving forward, and we want to see, everything going on with Forever Paws in a lively fashion. We've been telling people, and people ask me, you didn't send out a letter this Christmas. We sent out a small letter just to adopters, but we're still looking for monetary donations because. One of the problems is that, well, I shouldn't say problem, this building as of, we're filming this in December, so December 29th, this building, which is a day away, will be 19 years old. And the only reason I know that is because my goddaughter was born when we were moving in. So I know that for certain. So now we look, and Ari's been telling Bev, there's problems with the gates and the cages and where the animals are, and we have a lot of work to do. So we've got some bids on it, and we're going to start working probably in this month, January, and get some work done. But that is going to cost us quite a bit of chunk change here, to say the least. So if you have some extra money, after the holidays, or if you've been saying, gee, I want to donate to a charity and I didn't get around to it, maybe you could get around to it and send in us a little amount, anything like $5, $10. We appreciate it all because a lot of the money goes right back into the building, especially the animals first, and the animals and the building, and then of course the staff. We're up to, I think it's 12 staff members now, 5 or 6, half of that are full-time and the rest are part-time. We are always talking about volunteers. In the past, when I've been doing this for so many years now, we're not going to be in our 26th year, going to our 27th year. The problem has been we've always had too many volunteers. They're all, falling over each other. Now, people don't want to work for money, so they definitely don't want to work for free unless they're really passionate about the animals. So we're down to some very loyal supporters, volunteers that have been here for several years. We got a guy, Tim, that's been doing it. I think he's been through 3 directors already. We got Muriel, who started with her husband, who passed, and she's still coming every Wednesday. We got quite a few volunteers that come in and on a regular basis, but we don't have a lot of volunteers. So the second Sunday of January, 9:30, I think it starts. She starts at 9:15. If you want to call the volunteer coordinator, her name is Joyce, at 508-679-3063. You can call the shelter, but they're just going to give you that number anyway. Call her and just find out for sure. Of course, it depends on the weather. Yeah. If it's inclement weather, she's not going to come down here. But, we do have an orientation. In the springtime, Ariana will do a special orientation for walking the dogs. Yep. So she's working on that. And also Ariana and I we've met with the students at Durfee. They have a group called the Black and Red Group. And we put our proposal into them, and we're going to see if they're going to come forth and come up with some plans that they would like to come and work with us. We haven't heard from them yet, but hopefully...
They're on break right now, though, I think.
They are. He said he might get it to before vacation or right after. So we'll wait and see, and hopefully we'll have a program going on with them. But that's not to come to volunteer. They have to come up with a plan. We come up with a question, and they have to come up with a solution. So we'll see how that works. They've helped us in the past, and then COVID hit, so they couldn't do the trail, so we ended up doing the trail ourselves, but they had started to help us. And then I think it was a boy that was going for his Eagle Scout. He lost out on his project, so his Scoutmaster had called us up because we had another Eagle Scout project here. He said, sure, so they helped us with our agility area. So we have a great agility area now for the dogs, and it's really a good thing. And we're going to start a new program where we're going to purchase some benches. And if you want to put a label on the bench, like, and dedicate it to someone, we're going to put some benches on the trail. We already have one. Nice. And that'll be up on our website in the future, hopefully. We're going to start, basically I'm working on this, trying to find someone to help us with our website and redo it. We've been looking around and looking at different websites and so on. One of the main flaw of our website is that we just cannot get, you cannot fill out the application on our website, and that is a problem. And it's not like we're not aware of it. Since Ari's been here, I've paid, from Forever Paws, I've paid 2 different people through our program to try, through their company, Wix, to try to get them to do it, and they all failed. So we might have to go to another company, and I'm looking at that. And what is that? It's not a company. What's it called?
It's like a website service.
service,
You know,
okay.
the thing is, the one we're using isn't super user friendly, and we're not super tech savvy. So the two of them don't kind of mix. But we are working on the website. We also have the partnership with BCC starting this month again.
Oh, good.
With
Yep.
the interns from the animal medical program. We have 2 interns that will volunteer with us while getting school credits from January through May. So we're kind of excited about that.
That's great.
And we also help the actual program. So they'll come in a few times during the semester with different teachers, and they get to use the shelter animals to practice with vaccines and restraint and testing and things like that. So it's really a really good relationship because it helps both ways, and it's nice to see the kids come in with the classes and they're learning, because these are the kids that are going to go forward to either work in shelters or work for vet hospitals and things like that. So that's really exciting too.
Yeah, I'm excited about that whole program because, as you know, I've said this on the show before. I started the groundwork of that program, and I love the name of this. It's called the IACUC Committee from BCC, and we've helped actually people. Right now, we've got 4 or 5 people from Forever Paws that are involved in it. For various reasons, and it's really a great program, and I've seen it develop along the way, and it's growing and growing, and they've got more vets actually teaching there now, and they can actually bring the animals in, and they're still working with us. So I'm really very impressed with it myself, and I try to remind people, any teenagers out there that are looking to find a career in working with animals, small animals, big animals. They don't just do small animals. They go out to farms. They've worked at Buttonwood Park, the various farms like in Rehoboth and Dighton horse farms. So it's a great program, and I highly recommend it. And now one of the good things is that they actually get to graduate at BCC like all the other kids and wear the cap and gown, where initially that didn't happen. I know you laugh, but I was the guest speaker at their first graduation.
Of course you were.
I were. Yeah, I was. I was like, no, I don't think so. And they said, oh, we need somebody. I'm like, you're desperate, I'm telling you. But it was nice. There was about 8 or 9 of them there, and they were very appreciative, and I was really happy. And like I said, to see it grow as much as I've seen it grow it's amazing. So, we've come, the old saying, you've come a long way, baby, and I think we have come a long way. And I just want to thank everybody for all your support and all your help, and I want to thank Ariana for sticking it out with us, because she's really brought us up to a level that I never thought we'd reach, and we have reached and far surpassed the level of my dreams. So I want to thank you for that. I want to thank Jackson for being such an avid participant in this discussion today.
I thought this was so exciting.
He was so excited. But I want to thank you all, and Happy New Year from Forever Paws, from all of us here. Take care.